Save money with our award-winning copyist team,
who, in case you didn't know, will be there in 4 hours or less to service your machine, guaranteed. And we have a 97% first-time fix rate. Check us out at deximaging.com or give us a call.
In Ocala, dial 352-433-4090. That's 433-4090. Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock, a little bit rainy this morning. Oh my gosh, we have a great segment for you. It's time for Ocala Magazine Radio. In the studio, Jessi Miller and Melissa Deskovic, and they are going to introduce their guests, which are two names you're going to know. One of them can hypnotize you. The other one can make you laugh. That's what I know. Good morning, ladies. How you doing?
Good morning.
Yeah, this is a fun one.
This is exciting.
Have you ever been hypnotized?
No. I have big control issues, so to allow, I don't know if I would be good for that. I don't know.
Jessi, have you ever been hypnotized?
I feel like I have, in that kind of mild therapeutic way, you know, where they're like, you won't eat fattening food anymore, like. But
can they do that?
But I'm aware.
I gotta have
I'm aware of what they're saying, though, right? I'm not like out. I've never been out and then woken up and been clucking like a chicken or anything like that.
All right, so introduce our guests. We got some really cool guests.
So we've got Colin Mochrie, whose line is it anyway? Most famously known for, but awesome. Kind of a legendary comedian, improv artist. Been around for a really long time, and he's amazing. And no one I've ever spoken to doesn't say, "Oh my gosh, I love him."
Yeah,
and
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's partnering up with Asad Mecci, who is hypnotizing. So they're coming to the Reilly on September 7th, and they've got this show called HYPROV or HYPROV, HYPROV. So it's like hypnotism and improv together.
Okay, I'm going to put the pots back up so they can be heard. Colin Mochrie and Asad Mecci, again, it's an honor to have you both on the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, I just want to make sure we're not getting any feedback to you guys. Are you guys hearing us okay?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Great.
So you have you ever been to Ocala before?
No, this will be my first time.
This is your first. And who just spoke right there?
That was Colin.
That's Colin.
That's
I
Colin.
have the deep, sexy voice.
Are you going to be hypnotized, Colin?
No. Audience members will be hypnotized, and then I'm going to improvise with them.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that sounds like a funny idea. And is it working? Are you doing this elsewhere?
Oh, they're
yeah, we've got like 40 places set up. We've done it at the Edinburgh Festival in London. It's been surprisingly working very well.
So I wonder what kind of things the Ocala people will say or do when they're under hypnosis.
I have no idea.
This is a hypnotist Asad here now.
Yes.
It's going to be a wild show. I bring up 20 volunteers, hypnotize them. Once they're under hypnosis, enter Mr. Colin Mochrie.
Oh my gosh.
Who improvises with them while they're hypnotized on stage, and it is wildly fun.
So how did this idea come about? What's the beginnings of this, the team between the two of you?
Believe it or not, Larry, I actually sent an email through Colin's website, cold. And I said, hey, you know what? I think this would be a great concept, putting hypnosis and improv together.
It's brilliant.
And Jeff Andrews, Colin's manager, picked up the email in 24 hours, set up a meeting, and the rest is history.
Colin, what did you think when you first were given this proposal?
I thought it was terrifying. So that immediately attracted me to it. My entire career has been built on me being outside of my comfort zone. So I couldn't think of being more outside than having, 5 audience members who I've never met before, who have no improv training, and we have to do an improv set for a paying audience.
So does it work because, Asad, do you tell the person who Colin is talking to that they are something, a policeman or a convict or something of that sort?
Sure, there's all kinds of different scenarios. One would be Colin on a blind date with one of the hypnotized subjects up on stage.
Oh, no.
You can imagine the hilarity that ensues. Colin's just ripping off people. And it's really interesting because sometimes the people up on stage are wildly entertaining, and that makes Colin's job really easy. Sometimes, not so much. So I see Colin really working up on stage.
Oh, really? So, okay.
And it is hilarious.
Something I've always wondered in hypnosis shows. How does, if you got a bunch of people up there, you tell one of them you're going to be a blind date. How is it possible that the other ones don't think you're talking to them?
Oh, I will separate them out. So I'll say, the person who I'm touching on the right shoulder right now, I'm going to count from 1 to 3 and say the words wide awake. When I do so, you're going to be on a blind date with Colin. You'll find him absolutely gorgeous, stunning, and you'll be madly in love with him.
Oh my goodness! I can just see Colin. When I think of it, I think of him in a tutu when he did that commercial in a tutu a while back there, and it's just like, no, that's wrong on so many levels.
And Asad, you have quite a history. You are a master hypnotist.
That's right. Yes, I've had the opportunity to tour around the world with the cruise line industries. I've worked with Carnival and Celebrity and Royal Caribbean, and now I get to do my debut North American tour with the legendary Mr. Colin Mochrie.
Brilliant.
So it's really exciting. I get a front row seat to the best comedy in the world, and it is absolutely hysterical.
So will you be picking people from the audience that we'll all know locally, like the mayor or like the conductor of the orchestra, who we all know, who actually works at that theater, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We call for volunteers, Larry, and it's just a random draw. Whoever comes up on stage fast enough, because literally I have to beat them back with the broomstick. They want to all get up on stage, right?
Oh, that's fun.
So it really could be the mayor or whoever else is on. We have not met any of these people. We don't know them. We've not met them. We've not prearranged anything. These are just random volunteers from Ocala that are coming up on stage to get hypnotized to improv with Colin.
Is there an age preference when you select people from the audience?
Yeah, we tend to veer towards 18 years of age and up.
No toddlers.
No toddlers on stage, although it'd be pretty entertaining.
Oh, we have Colin. There you go. That's it. That's your entertainment right there. He's been doing it for years.
Colin, does it ever crack you? I mean, do you ever laugh at the own thing? When we watch you on Whose Line Is It Anyway, it looks like you guys are laughing so hard. It's almost like you're part of the audience.
Yeah. No, with this show, I'm just constantly in panic mode, so I don't have time to have fun. When I'm working with the guys on Whose Line, even though we're improvising, we don't know where we're going, we've worked together for a while. I know they all know the rules of improv, so I can follow them. They'll follow me. With our audience members, I have no idea what they can do. When we were first talking about the kinds of scenes we could do, I would say to Asad, if I ask them to do this, will they do it? And his answer was, I don't know. It depends on the subject. Some subjects, absolutely, you can do anything with them. Some of them, it's like they're stoned.
Do they really feel like they are, like on a blind date, for example, or do they know they're improvising?
So they actually have the experience of a blind date with Colin. Wow. The best way to describe it would be, you watch a horror movie, right? And you get so caught up in what you're watching that you move to a physiological response, right? You jump in your chair, your heart starts to palm. Your palms start to get sweaty. Logically, what you're watching on the big screen is not real, but for that moment in time, it feels really real.
Yeah.
That's the hypnotic trance state. So when people are watching a tearjerker and they cry, they're getting an unconscious response. Right? They're not actually thinking to themselves, this is kind of sad, I want to cry right now. No, it's just spontaneous and automatic.
Wow.
And that's what I'm bringing up on stage. The best way to describe a stage hypnosis show, it's like walking into a movie theater and suspending your disbelief for that 2-hour period.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Colin, you just mentioned that on your show and when you're working with your people you work with all the time, they know the rules of improv. So briefly, what are the rules of improv? I think one of them is not saying no, right? Not shutting a line down.
Yeah, people always think, oh, improv must be so hard. And it's not. It's just because the two main rules are things that we don't do in real life, which is basically saying yes to people and listening. That's it. That's all you need to do. And what the best thing is, you should be able to work with any improviser in the world because they have the same rule set. And I've been really lucky that I've worked with people in India and New Zealand and Australia. And even though we maybe just met that day, you can still have a great show because everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing.
And how do you know, as a master hypnotist, that the people are genuinely under and they're not trying to fake it?
It's interesting because, I really had no experience in this area, but now I watch as Asad is putting people under, and I can see almost immediately, okay, that person's faking, that person is totally out. You can see almost immediately. The ones who are under are immediately relaxed, their heads are down. The ones who aren't are, maybe trying to suppress a smile, or they're just tense. So and Asad's a pro at it, so we've always managed to get the best 5.
Okay, so what do you do?
I'll give you some technical examples. So I'm looking for changes in rate, location of respiration. So breathing changes, skin color changes, skin tonus changes, lacrimation of the eyes, so the eyes start to tear up, vasodilation, so the capillaries in the eyes become engorged. So I'm looking for this checklist. If I see it, I'll keep the people on stage. If I don't, I'll send them back.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Wow. It's amazing you can do that.
Yeah.
I can understand the movie making you want to cry, but you have to build up to that. But you do it relatively quick, right?
Usually within about 7 minutes, the people are hypnotized on stage. Within 8 minutes, Colin's on stage improvising with them.
So what Colin, what if you really connect with somebody on a blind date with you?
I've connected with they've been so sweet. I've had so many loving hugs from big burly men. Actually, it's amazing. And, Asad and I really make sure that we're taking care of the people on stage. There was one time we were doing a scene about a pet funeral. I think it was their parrot had died flying into an overhead fan.
Oh my God.
And this one woman was really getting very, very upset. Very upset. And so Asad, gently kind of pulls her away and sort of, talks to her, calms her down. So we're really aware that we're not putting them in any sort of discomfort for entertainment value.
Right.
Has there ever been a time when you are in the process of hypnotizing the people on stage that somebody in the audience all of a sudden gets hypnotized as well?
So usually I give the suggestion to the audience. These suggestions are only for the people up on stage. Mm-hmm. So that eliminates that problem.
It's amazing how we are. That's an amazing observation on human, the way we are, right?
I like him. I want to put him in marketing.
Yeah, I was just wondering what other kinds of jobs that would be useful.
Oh, yeah. You guys on the radio going, now you're going to listen and you're going to buy.
Yeah.
So how
We're good for ratings, for sure.
So we need to know the pronunciation of the show. Is it HYPROV or HYPROV?
Yeah.
HYPROV.
HYPROV.
Very cool, very cool.
Very cool.
This is Jessi, this is going to be at the Reilly Arts Center. When?
It's going to be at the Reilly Arts Center on September 7th, and tickets are available. And we're also going to give a couple tickets away on our Ocala Magazine Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
We'll put that post up about 11 o'clock this morning, and and then you guys can fight for them.
And Asad, has law enforcement ever come to you to try to hypnotize someone that they're trying to solve a case for, and they're like the only witness and they blocked it out?
Great question. Since 1976, the LAPD has been using forensic hypnotists in their investigation.
Wow.
Let's say you and I are walking down the street. You get hit by a car. It's a hit and run. I can't remember all the details of the assault. A forensic hypnotist can come in, regress me back to the assault, and more information has come out while a person's been hypnotized.
Wow.
License plate numbers come out. This one particular case, this woman was assaulted. She couldn't remember all the details of the assault. She regressed back to the assault. She remembered that the perpetrator had alcohol on his breath and could describe the tattoo on his right arm.
Oh, my.
That's
Wow.
fascinating.
Wow.
Oh, my.
Can you really go back before you were born? You ever hear those stories? Have you ever heard that? Can you do that?
There's some interesting work done by Dr. Brian Weiss, Many Lives, Many Masters, but that's a whole other story.
Colin, who were you in a past life?
Me?
Yeah.
I was the guy. I used to clean the moat. Every life is just getting slightly better. So my next couple of lives should be great.
That's kind of funny.
Well, and Colin, in your past life that is still your current life, who are your favorite people to work with on stage?
Well, for, the cast of Who's Line, Ryan and I known each other for like 45 years. We've worked together that long, so it really is a great relationship. So anyone on that show, I'd be really lucky. Right now I'm in Edmonton at the Edmonton Fringe working with some people from a place called Dad's Garage in Atlanta. All great improvisers. So I've been very fortunate in that I've been constantly working with great people. And Asad.
But you've
and
that guy.
And Colin, you've never actually needed I don't know, hypnotist to help you with anything, or are you just afraid of it? Because I'd be afraid of it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not that interested in improving myself. I'm afraid that if I do that, it's going to ruin my improv skills. So I'm just going to remain the mess that I am.
That's funny.
Whoa.
Colin, for you first, what kind of advice can you give up-and-coming improv comedians to keep them from quitting, to keep them to persevere?
Well, I would actually push them to quit, because who needs the competition? But my thing always is just do it as much as you can. Be in front of an audience. Work with people who are better than you. It's how you learn. The more you do it, you learn very quickly where your weak points are in improv and things you have to work on. So it really is a muscle that has to be exercised. You can't just sit back and think about it. You have to throw yourself in there and hope for the best.
Really? Did you do this kind of thing? Like when you were a kid in school, were you improvising and getting in trouble for it?
No, I was an honor student. I was very quiet. I was planning to become a marine biologist, and then things got out of hand.
You think? Yeah. Colin, I have a question for you. You briefly said you're going to be in Atlanta at Dad's Garage, did you say?
Yeah.
And
that's the name of the theater, yeah.
Now, I'm going to put you on a spot a little bit. Never been done to you before. Do you have any dates, or where I can find the dates that you're going to be there?
No.
Thank you.
No. We have the website hypprov.com that has all of our dates. I also tour with Brad Sherwood, and that's colinbradshow.com, and that's my schedule. I just have my manager, Jeff, email me, tell me where I'm going. That's...
so they get to tell you where to go? Honestly, okay, good.
And
yeah, I know one day in advance of where I'm going.
And Asad, did you have a mentor? And if you were to mentor someone, how would you do that?
Yeah, one of my mentors was Mike Mandel. He actually worked with the RCMP for many years, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, in the area of forensic hypnosis.
The Royal Canadian Mounted Police in the area of hypnosis. Got it.
Yeah, forensic hypnosis. What you were asking about earlier.
Right.
And then the question was, what advice do I have? I think grit is the key. Just keep on doing it. No matter how many times somebody says no, or they say you can't do it, or the show will never work, or don't become a hypnotist, become a doctor. Just do what you love and continue to just grind away.
That's marvelous. Thank you, sir.
The website that we just learned about is hyprov.com. That's HYPROV.com. I just went there, and if you click on the tours button, you'll see the September 7th listing for the Reilly Arts Center here in Ocala. And if you miss it that day, October 3rd, you can go out to California.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a short drive. It's, of course, on the Reilly Arts Center website also.
Okay.
Tickets, yeah.
And Jessi, earlier you had mentioned that people can go to your OM Facebook page. How do you go there? What is the title on the Facebook
Sure,
page?
it's Ocala Magazine. So, facebook.com/Ocala Magazine. And we'll have a post up there at about 11 o'clock. And we'll be giving away some tickets to this hilarity, which I'm pretty excited about.
Are you guys recording the shows, and will there be a video in the future?
Probably not.
No evidence.
It really is one of those shows where you have to be there and experience it. It's I think it may lose something in the video. It really is. Once you're there, you're just caught up in the excitement of seeing these people perform. You're caught up in the excitement of seeing one of the sexiest improvisers in the world walking across the stage.
And they said they wouldn't hypnotize the audience. Right? Okay.
Will you gentlemen be able to have a meet and greet afterwards?
Yeah, maybe. Where there's a stage door, so if people want it. Sometimes the theaters arrange a VIP meet and greet, but people can always catch us as we're leaving the theater. We're always happy to meet our fans.
Since your last names both begin with M, you can call yourselves the M&Ms. And have a logo.
And get sued. Yes.
We actually do. We will melt in your hands.
Oh, the girls went, you're hot, Colin. You're just so dang hot. I'll tell you what. Now, I'm going to digress a little bit into what you used to do. I don't know, are you still doing it? Whose line is it anyway? Are you still filming that? And if so, where and when? Do you have any ideas?
We just did the current season in February, and then we wait and see from year to year. The best thing about Whose Line is it's 2 weekends out of the year, so it's this short, fun period, and then it leaves the rest of the year to do things like HYPROV.
Oh my goodness, that's a tight schedule.
Yeah, it's fast and cheap. Emphasis on cheap.
Colin, on behalf of all of us, it's an honor to have you on the show. Thank you so much for doing this. We're looking forward to seeing you at the Reilly Arts Center on September 7th. Asad Mecci, I would love to know how you do what you do. It's an amazing thing that hypnotists do. And you're going to meet some really nice people. Jessi, thank you for doing this. This is so much fun. And Melissa, it's always fun. Thank you, guys. Be careful out there.
Thanks so much for having us on.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's been an absolute honor.
All right, we'll be right back.
Freddy's Specialty Sundays. Classic American treats. Made with freshly churned, rich and creamy frozen custard. Welcome to Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The taste that brings you back.
So now that you have your hearts